This is my shopping.
What? You're doing a documentary? Oh, are you in this? Nick's too cool. Fuck yeah.
Too cool.
Do you know what else?
You just have to walk down the hall.
Like, this is how Nick walks down the hallway.
You want to be good yet? My name is Nick Higgins, born in Oshawa in 1995. For my family, I have a stepdad, 3 sisters, and also a stepbrother. And their names are Gabby, Diana, Morgan, and Brandon. Yucca! What are you saying, buddy?
Taking pictures of.
No, it's basically
What I gotta do? Sell you a cigarette. Alright. Literally, that's scooped.
You gotta be nice, because you gotta be like saying hi to people.
What's good, Nyokos?
I'm not supposed to look at you. My earliest pastime from where I lived was in Oshawa, and I didn't like it there because there's a lot of drugs and a lot of crack addicts and crackheads on the street. I moved from Oshawa to Keswick because of the bad area we were living in, and my parents wanted to give a different place a chance, and they found a house in Keswick. I remember the first day after I had to move from my dad going away, and my mom ended up picking me up later that night, and that's when I moved here from the start. I always knew I was shorter than most people, but I always thought that I had a stronger heart and was more confident, so we'd go further.
Well, me and Nick go pretty far back, I guess you could say. I met him in grade 5 at Simcoe Public School. He just came in halfway through the year, I think. We used to call him Little Nicky, because he was just always the shortest little guy. And we used to pick on him, I guess you could say, quite a lot. But it was more like, not picking on him, but like just like tough love teasing, which I think was good because like we prepared him for high school. Because I don't think he would have lasted one day if we didn't.
I've always been picked on for my height. Kind of sucks, but there's not much you can do other than the fact with my height, it's who you are.
I don't know. Nick's always like looking at the positives side of life, you know. He's always cheerful. People do get under his skin sometimes, which I can tell. Like, look how tall he is. Like. But Nick, most of the time, is positive, always polite.
Going into high school was a nervous feeling, but I wasn't too worried because of how many people and how big the school was. And I knew meeting people would be a different experience and would make it easier. The way I handled some bullies during high school was just ignoring them or just telling them straight up that I don't like what you're doing. The worst memory I had in high school was in grade 9 when I had art class and people were calling me a leprechaun and then other kids joined in.
We were all joking around with Nick, and Andrew thought it was cool to join in, kind of, but like, he just took everything way too far and everything escalated.
And then it got escalated and I put some kid in the office and he was crying his eyes out.
Fight almost broke out.
I felt good after because he was pissing me off.
Like,
But at the time I was feeling lonely and the fact that people were actually going that far kept this trip going on. What happened with my mom and my stepdad, they were married for 15 years and they got a divorce, and the only place for me to go was my dad's because it wasn't really a family. I had to move to Oshawa last year and change different schools for my last year of high school. The reason why I moved back is because I didn't have the same bond with my dad as I did before, so it didn't feel the same. What happened with my stepdad when I moved back was he ended up getting lung cancer a year after his divorce, and things are rough at the house, but other than that, I'm just doing my school and trying to find a job. What I want to do when I get out of high school is to get into the trades and get into contracting or landscaping. Anything to do with trade.
Are you happy on how your life is so far?
So far, it's been a better improvement, but at first it was going slow and down the wrong path. But every day it's getting a lot better.
Good gracious, every process has a genesis, it ends with the revelation. God bless this opportunity for me to find a voice for some words that have waited for way too long. No wages, small tips on the avenue, never wasted, all hits for a revenue. Haven't you heard the news lately? Seems we've been living for some times in a purgatory. But yo, I thought I knew what a love song sound like, but I felt a warmer tune.